So we're back now with the sports blog for the men's game against Fuquay-Varina. So Middle Creek is taking on this Bengals team who really aren't too bad, as they put on some great competition so far against Apex Friendship and Holly Springs. And it should be a good game, and I'm not expecting a blowout really by any means. If it is to happen, great for Middle Creek, but it should be a tough game. So going into this game, you have key players such as Jake Caputo committed to Duke, Samuel Salisbury committed to Barton, Ben Lever committed to Furman, and other players such as David Baird and Braden Harrison. Braden Harrison and Tate Jones, two freshmen, and they've really just played spectacular this year so far. Two great players for the Mustangs. So the starters for both teams coming out, looking to shake hands. Both goalies, Lance Skelton and number 1, Drew Wheeler. Drew Wheeler, about 70% of the season on his saves, and Lance Skelton has done a great job this year for the Mustangs, saving about 75% of shots taken at the goal. Actually, correct me, 82%. So Lance Skelton has done a great job this year defending his net. But as we look to face off, the great face-offman of Graham Schwartz, he's done a spectacular job this year and in previous years of handling the face-offs. So Graham Schwartz winning the face-off with some ease, and David Baird going for the quick goal, but it'll go just left of the goal, so it'll go back to Fuquay. The weather's definitely cleared up a little bit here. Hopefully, that metaphor I was alluding to earlier will play along with this weather. So now Fuquay moving the ball around a little bit here and going into Middle Creek territory. Middle Creek, their defense, I wouldn't say as great this year as it has been the past few years, but still great, held down by number 29, Ben Lever, as we heard him talk a little earlier. And also by Holly Springs transfer, Nathan Greenberg. So Fuquay looking to get into something here, but Middle Creek playing some pretty good defense, fitting them off pretty well, cutting off the lanes pretty easily so far. So Fuquay looking to make something here, putting a move on Nathan Greenberg, but good defense by Greenberg and also a good effort by Lance Skelton to protect his goal. Stay Fuquay ball. And now a quick pass in by Fuquay, but the ball is taken by Luke McDonald. Now back to Skelton. Skelton looking to give the ball to Lever, or correct me, back to McDonald. McDonald up the field to Duke commit Jake Caputo. And Caputo putting on great moves and a great finish for Caputo to go up 1-0 for the Mustangs. So a great way to start off the game for Caputo. You really can't say enough about him. His older brother, Owen, at Duke this year. And he was a spectacular player last year for the Mustangs. And and he one of the better players in North Carolina lacrosse history. But Jake, making his own legacy here, as you can tell, putting on the great moves, and also, as I mentioned, the Duke commit, so that says enough in itself. So Schwartz back at the face-off, another particularly easy win against number 4, Will Larson. Will Larson only winning about 52% of his face-offs, but he's also only a sophomore, opposed to Graham being a senior, and have started against the face-offs for 3 years now. So Caputo once again going right back inside and scoring with ease. So Jake Caputo taking over this ball game so far, doing a spectacular job. I mean, it looks as if he's on another level. I mean, you watch any type of game, you watch NBA games, you watch LeBron play, you can tell he just goes to another level of anyone else on the floor, and Jake Caputo's that guy. I guess the point I'm trying to get across is it's pretty easy to single him out of everyone else, as he's put a lot of time into his craft and works really hard. And Duke's really lucky to have him, as well as his brother. So Braden Harrison now getting his action. As I mentioned, a freshman playing great this season so far. With the goals are not updated, but he scored multiple times this season during multiple games. So Caputo controlling the ball once again. Finally got it. Braden Harrison now. So Caputo facilitating to the freshman, and Middle Creek has taken a 3-0 lead. Playing excellent on the offensive end, moving the ball around exceptionally well. So Caputo also being a great facilitator this year, as many times, if you've watched him, he's assisted on many of the goals here from some of the younger guys and even the older guys, such as David Baird, who's really helped off Caputo's assist. So the face-off won by Middle Creek. I believe all 4 now, all 3 or all 4 won by Middle Creek. And number 15, Carson Scott, sophomore, will be coming into the game, replacing Luke McDonald. And Harrison also coming in for McDonald. So Scott looking to make something here, as he's defended by number 26, Leonard Malal. So an easy goal there by number 5, Campion White, a sophomore. Sophomore midi, Campion White there. He's also played pretty well this season. Only a sophomore, as I mentioned, and Coach Alota is really lucky to have someone like him with the versatility among this team. This team, particularly opposed to the girls, runs very deep, as they can bring a lot of guys out and put them on and expect them to play well. So Schwartz 5 for 5 now off the face-offs. And facilitates to McDonald, now to Greenberg. As I mentioned, Nathan Greenberg, the junior midi, he transferred in this year from Holly Springs and has really helped this team out. He was an all-conference player last year and looks to repeat that this year as he joins a pretty stacked Middle Creek team, as he makes a great move inside and scores on the left side of the goal. Middle Creek taking a 5-0 lead early in the game. So enough good things can't be said about many of Coach Lota's players. And Nathan Greenberg scoring on a great goal, unassisted. So he was put in that, not particularly a one-on-one situation, but sliced through the defense. But now Scott will come out to face off. And he wins the face-off as well. But it looks as if Fuquay's put in a new guy at face-off, Wesley Ig, I believe, the junior. now into the hands of number 21, Von Schmitz. Schmitz, the junior, now to Schwartz. Schwartz trying to show off that he doesn't only do face-offs, and he does spectacularly well. So Middle Creek now with the 6-0 lead, playing great, and it looks as if the Fuquay goalie will be taken out. So he doesn't look too happy, but I wouldn't be too mad if I had to go against some of these guys from Middle Creek, as they are just spectacular. So Scott will remain in as taking the face-offs. He'll be taking the face-offs. So the first face-off lost of the night for Middle Creek, which gives the opportunity for Fuquay to make something here. So number 30, Matthew Lyons, the second leading scorer with 5 goals this year for the Bengals. He brings this ball up, but now is being moved around a little bit. So Lyons with the ball once again, being moved between Braswell and Larson. So now number 33, Logan Wheeler, will come into the game. Senior. He's one of the captains for this team, the leading scorer as well. So number 5, Caden Castle, being guarded by Lever. Actually, correct me. He was guarded by Samuel Salisbury. So it looks like as if Fuquay really trying to get something off here, as they will, but a great save by Lance Skelton. Tough to tell if it were a save, if it were more of a save or more of a missed shot. But nonetheless, a great effort by Middle Creek. So Middle Creek looks as they might steal the ball here. Yeah, that is definitely a penalty. So Middle Creek is going to retain possession of this ball after a bad pass from Fuquay. As Campion White and Carson Scott are coming into the game to help work around this offense as they look to get into something here. And a great goal scored. That is by number 32, Tate Jones. His first tonight. One of those 2 freshmen I was talking about. They're really great players. One of those guys you really have to look for in these coming years. Tate Jones, he did a great job for the football program this year earlier, being one of the breakout players on JV. But it's surprising that it wasn't his main sport, as he is spectacular on the lacrosse field. So we are going to take a timeout here at Mustang Stadium, and we'll be right back. This is the Sports Block. So we come back into this game, Middle Creek up 7-0. But before that, I'll read some Thoroughbred sponsors. Pierce Group has a group of dedicated and knowledgeable professionals with over 100 years of combined industry experience to serve you. Pierce Group benefits. Improve your speed, agility, quickness, flexibility, and strength to reach your potential at the Performance Academy. Work hard, be great. So with some Colt sponsors, From oil changes to engine replacement, they fix all makes and models. Christian Brothers Automotive in Fairview Village Shopping Center. James River Equipment, your full-service John Deere construction and forestry equipment dealer. James River Equipment. So Middle Creek winning the face-off and getting quickly into their offensive set. As Tate Jones controlling the ball. He just scored on his last attempt. The ball now in the hands of number 19. Number 19, that is Josh France. Now in the hands of sophomore David Huey. And back to Julian Beckera. So the ball being moved around quite well here. But number 32, Tate Jones, he loses the ball. So it's being poked around a little bit. Looked to be saved by Wheeler. Wheeler side checking number 18, David Huey. But that will be called penalty. So you can't blame the Bengals for possibly being a little frustrated here. Going down a quick 7-0. So David Baird getting his first few touches of the game after that first shot attempt, but loses the ball. Quite unlike him, I might add, but it will go back to Middle Creek as he forces his defender out of bounds. So a slashing call will be made against Middle Creek, awarding Fuquay the ball. Also awarding Fuquay an extra man. So the first goal will be scored by Fuquay-Varina tonight, but now we'll be joined by junior Alexis Ossie from the girls team, and she'll have some comments on her game today. So you can take it. Go ahead. So basically, I just wanted to ask, what do you think happened today in your game? You can be blatant as you want.
I think overall we were out hustled, but I think we kept up the pace well to begin with. And second half we came out pretty strong, but we have some things to work on for the rest of the season.
Yeah, so it really didn't look so bad in the end of the game, especially you guys picked it up a little bit, but it looks like in the start of the game, possibly the weather, I don't know, but it didn't look so great. So like, what do you think you guys took off that and how you can build on it?
I think we can build on our speed and getting in shape for the rest of the season.
Yeah. So anything else you want to say?
Go Mustangs.
Go Mustangs. All right. So okay, that'll be all unless Bridget Cardillo, you want to say anything? Go ahead. Just.
I thought we played really well. I think that we have a lot of weaknesses that we need to build on, and we can fix that in the season before we play Apex and be SWAC champs.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Thank you, guys. All right. So that was some of the girls from today's game. And although it didn't end in a great performance, it's good to see that they're positive. But a great move by Ben Lever as he forces two guys to run straight into each other. And that would be number 22. Yeah, I'm going to call him out. Number 22, Emmanuel Mutwaba. He comes back and tries to retaliate against Lever after that sick move. So an absolutely filthy move by Lever. As he gets the fans' approval. So a shot attempt will be put up by Julian Becerra, and good defense being played by David Baird. But Fuquay is going to get possession of this ball and possibly to get some offense going. But good defense, and it appears that the ball is just being shoved around a little bit, but it'll be awarded to Middle Creek, and it will make some Fuquay fans angry. So now the ball will be moved around pretty well, but the shot attempt will be just off the mark by number 16, Joshua Post, the sophomore. So Middle Creek, they came in to this game absolutely dominating. Before I talked to those girls, I mean, they were just really putting on a show, but it's just been spectacular for Middle Creek so far. But Fuquay looking to make something of this. They've played some pretty good defense the past few possessions and looking to get an offensive goal here, as the umbrellas look like they're about to come out again, as there's possibly some rain about to come down or already coming down. As it's hard to tell from up here, but if you look in the lights, you can definitely tell something's coming down. So Fuquay moving this ball around pretty well, and it ends in the hands of Logan Wheeler. And he looks to do something here and gets right by Middle Creek, Luke McDonald, and he scores off a pretty spectacular goal between the legs of Skelton. So after a 7-0 run there by Middle Creek, the Fuquay Bengals have scored 2 straight goals. And as I mentioned before the game, they're not the easiest team to play. Although people may perceive them as a weak program, they really aren't. So Schwartz now to face off. As I mentioned, a very great face-offman. As I read an article recently where he finished 3rd at the Face-Off Academy, and he obviously finishing 3rd at the Face-Off Academy is pretty spectacular, meaning he's going against great other great guys playing face-off. So the rain really coming down now, possibly being an effect for these offenses. But a great save by number 10, Cody Seaman. As that looked to be a for sure goal, as open as it was. So now Fuquay coming back a little bit, trying to make this game interesting. A move being put on Scott by Ethan Burke. So we definitely saw that in the girls' game where it was an issue with the rain. There was definitely some slipping and sliding going on. But the field's probably just as bad as it would be if it were pouring currently, which it is. So a deep goal by Braden Harrison, but it will stay with the Mustangs. Braden Harrison pulling it from about 20 yards away. But that'll be the end of the first quarter. So we're going to go ahead. We're just going to go to break. Middle Creek up 7-2. This has been the Sports Block. So we're back with Middle Creek up 7-2 currently. But before we get anything started, I have some Thoroughbred sponsors. Pierce Group has a group of dedicated and knowledgeable professionals with over 100 years of combined industry experience to serve you. Pierce Group benefits. Improve your speed, agility, quickness, flexibility, and strength to reach your potential at the Performance Academy. Work hard, be great. So now the Bengals deficit only at 5. Although Middle Creek's played particularly well, they came out guns a-blazing, really. I mean, the first 6-7 minutes they were playing spectacular. And it seems as if either when it started raining or even before that, they slowed down possibly a little bit, just letting off the gas. But not something you really need to do in this kind of game. Really just no need to slack off, although going up 7-0 may seem that way. Really just something you shouldn't do. But good defense being played by both Lever and Graham Schwartz. Lever looking to fight for the ball here after playing solid defense, and Lever not giving up. So although he didn't get what he wanted, the ball I believe will stay with Fuquay. I couldn't tell if they called it on Lever or possibly another player. I assume Lever, though. So, Fuquay-Varina looking to put themselves in an offensive set here. And move the ball around a little bit. So Logan Wheeler initiating the offense here. And looks to find a break in Middle Creek's defense somewhere. But this defense really flying around right now. And Lance Skelton gives up yet another goal. So Fuquay now on a 3-0 run. So that will be number 29, J.J. Dickens, with the goal. So Middle Creek needs to be careful here, as they seem to lost a lot of momentum. As at one point they were doing spectacular, which I can't say enough. I mean, they were playing great lacrosse to start this game, and now it's been quite mediocre compared to what they've done all season. So I believe Schwartz back at the face-off. Only losing 1 tonight out of all of his face-offs, which I believe he is 7 for 8, but that could be checked. So White with the ball, looks to Caputo, now gives the ball to Caputo. And Caputo sitting back, looking to make something as he goes right at Fuquay's defense. Now looking to set up someone for a goal. Can't find anyone, so looks to reset a little bit. Gives it to Scott. Scott goes under and gets the goal for the Mustangs. Finally breaking that that drought of goals to put Middle Creek up 8-3. So a great effort there by Scott. And this Middle Creek team looks to expand on that, of course. Schwartz winning yet another face-off. as he will come out of the game and be replaced with Campia White and Carson Scott. Carson Scott scoring that last goal just outside of the net, scooping it under the defender's legs. But Tate Jones staying up on his feet after attempting to be knocked over and just sails the ball left of the goal. And from where I was looking, it was very close. So just to the left of the crossbar. But David Baird attacks right at the Bengals, and a penalty would be called against the Mustangs, leading a turnover. So Fuquay sending 2 guys in for to initiate this offense. So with the ball being moved around now, Fuquay looking to make something, as they've played a lot better since the beginning of this game, as I expected. So Harrison playing good defense, not allowing the shot to get off, or allowing a clean one at that. So Scott now one-on-one with number 30, Matthew Lyons, also a team captain. So Lever D'd up on Wheeler and forces the ball to be moved around by the Bengals. Eventually moving through all 6 offensive players before being isolated between Wheeler and Lever. Wheeler being forced to move the ball back out. Now Fuquay looking a little bit lost right now. But Scott being put one-on-one, and that'll result in the save by Lance Skelton. So that'll be moved all the way out, but it'll be lost after the high pass from McDonald to Lever, but saved by Jake Caputo, as you can expect a goal here, as is. So that will go to a score of 9-3. I mean, Jake Caputo putting on a clinic so far here. You can really tell when he touches the ball, something good's going to happen for Middle Creek. So with some Colt sponsors, from oil changes to engine replacement, they fix all the makes and models, Christian Brothers Automotive in the Fairview Village Shopping Center. James River Equipment, excuse me, your full-service John Deere construction and forestry equipment dealer, James River Equipment. So now back into this game, a flag's been thrown, I believe, against the Bengals, as Baird's helmet has been taken off by a Bengals defender. So a few substitutions happening now for both teams. And Baird possibly extending this, putting his helmet back on a little bit, maybe just to symbolize how he might be a little angry, which I would be too. I'd be quite angry in this situation. As they announced it, it's been a cross-checking call. But these games always get a little chippy between Middle Creek and Fuquay, whether it be basketball, football, and of course lacrosse. You can always expect something good to come out of these games. So Caputo looking as if he may shoot it, but defers, gives up to Harrison. Now back to Caputo. Now to Greenberg, but Greenberg loses the ball, so it's going to go back. Actually, correct me. Middle Creek will keep it as Baird will save the ball. Baird moving the ball back to Greenberg, now to Caputo. So great ball movement here by the Mustangs, which will result in an excellent save by number 1, Drew Wheeler. Both these goaltenders have been pretty spectacular in the season. Number 10, Cody Seaman, and number 1, Drew Wheeler, both hovering around 70% on the season. But the long pass will be stolen by Ben Lever. Ben Lever committed to Furman, one of these key defenders on this team since his freshman year in the state championship team. A part of with some really talented guys, but not downplay this team as they are full of talented players as well. So Caputo rips one up off the crossbar, nearly resulting in yet another goal for him, which I believe the count would be either 4 or 5. I believe 5. So Tate passes one up to Greenberg. Greenberg gets the ball deflected off of the hands or the stick of Drew Wheeler. So Fuquay going down, looking to possibly score here, as Lance Skelton with a great save. As he's played pretty spectacular tonight as well. So the goaltenders really showing off their abilities tonight, as play will be stopped for a pushing foul, and the ball will be awarded to Middle Creek. Actually, correct me. It'll stay with Fuquay. Fuquay unable to make any substitutions, so it'll be 6-on-3. No substitution is allowed due to a slashing penalty. But now the Lions will be put back into the game. And Fuquay now being able to put some guys back into the game, possibly starting some offense here for the Bengals. So, nearing the end of the second quarter here, Middle Creek still up 9-3. Fuquay answering back after that 7-0 deficit to start the game. Middle Creek coming out just looking like the dominant team, especially Jake Caputo coming out just asserting his dominance on this Bengals team. But Ben Lever guarding his man all the way out to midfield. And but the ball will slip by him, as once again, I don't have to mention it at this point, but the field is wet and slippery. So if you see guys falling, it's most likely just the result of the wet field, not because their ankles were taken. So Fuquay maintaining a pretty long possession, as their possession time has definitely been larger in the second period as it was in the first. But as you see, many of these great teams do, all throughout any league, whether it be football or basketball, you see that they really come out and assert themselves as the better team, which I believe Middle Creek did tonight, although Fuquay has responded well. So Fuquay looking to get something here, as there's a great pass inside by Wheeler, or from Wheeler, but the ball be deflected out by Lance Skelton. That shot attempt was from Caden Castle, who has 4 goals in the season. So now Schwartz playing some defense here for Middle Creek, as he for sure can. And the ball nearly out of bounds will be saved by Wheeler. And now Lever will push Wheeler out to almost midfield line, but the ball will be worked back inside by the Bengals. So with the shot attempt here, although it will be missed, that was by number 2, Jacob Braswell. Jacob Braswell, I believe, also a quarterback for the Bengals, for their football team, obviously. But with nearing 2 minutes left and this period, Fuquay looks to get something here before the half is over. Middle Creek as well, but they're playing some pretty solid defense so far. Fuquay looking to break that, as Middle Creek playing the better defense, and McDonald moving the ball up, but a poor pass will be led to Braden Harrison, losing it, but now picked up by Caputo. So Caputo moving the ball up. Great pass to Baird. Baird, great move inside. Just faking the defender out of his shoes. Drew Wheeler just being put on skates by David Baird. Great move by David Baird. As he dangled the ball high and then brought it back down low to score. Great move. So Middle Creek will reach double digits now, with the lead being by 7, 10-3. And Carson Scott will go back to the face-off responsibility, I believe against number 4, Will Larson. So Carson Scott losing that battle, but as I mentioned earlier, Graham Schwartz has been exceptional at face-offs, which has really put Middle Creek in a lot of great spots throughout the years, and putting them offensively. And he's been putting them in great spots for years now, and winning about almost 80% of his battles, and possibly even more, adding the stats to this game. That's just something quite unheard of from normal guys for your everyday team. So Skelton advancing the ball quite deep from his own net. But with now under a minute left, Von Schmitz passes to Caputo, but that ball will be put out of bounds. So a little off the mark, but none to worry. As Schmitz just says it's fine, and Caputo says just shake it off. That will be good. So Fuquay needs to get into something here. Although with about 40 seconds left in this game, they need something to happen. But a great save by Lance Skelton. Wow, a spectacular save. Lance Skelton has been great all night. But now it looks as if they will have a call possibly against the Mustangs. Hard to tell who it was. So the penalty will be for pushing. Only resulting in a 30-minute penalty, or 30-second. But that will wrap up the rest of the quarter and the half at that. So the Mustangs really need to be defensive here. They shouldn't give up anything, especially at the buzzer, which would be really unfortunate. So the ball now being fought for will stay with the Bengals, and being moved around, and a shot will be taken by Wheeler. But now with only 5 seconds left, Fuquay needs to get something here quick, as it appears that they may get it off, and they do. but it's far left of the goal. So Middle Creek up 10-3 at the end of this half. Before we go, we have some sponsors. A healthy, attractive smile is an important part of our lives at any age. Gladwell Orthodontics strives to set the standard in quality orthodontic care and offers a wide range of services. Smile more with Gladwell Orthodontics. So this has been the Sports Block. We'll be right back after halftime. Sports block, Middle Creek with a 10-3 lead in the second half of this game. Before we start, we got halftime sponsor. So, a healthy, attractive smile is an important part of our lives at any age. Gladwell Orthodontics strives to set the standard in quality orthodontic care and offers a wide range of services. Smile more with Gladwell Orthodontics. So Schwartz winning the face-off here. And Jake Caputo proving to be too fast for his Fuquay counterpart, but can't finish the goal. And as we come in our home stretch of our broadcast here, we thank you for tuning in tonight. As it has sure been a lot of lacrosse for us and a lot of lacrosse for you. So another goal scored here by Middle Creek. And Jake Caputo now with 5 goals and with an assist as well. So a good night tonight for Jake Caputo, I think I could say. Also, I'd like to give a shout out to Charlie Reeder, as he's in Los Angeles tonight, but I'm sure he'd love to be here with us commentating with me. So pulling this one solo tonight is not always the best, but I'm glad I could do it. So Schwartz winning the face-off. He's won all but one. And Middle Creek looking like how they did coming out. Middle Creek looking like how they came out in the first half, relying on that Jake Caputo speed and just utter skill. Starting out with 2 goals, start this half. And he's definitely been great tonight for Middle Creek, as he always is. But tonight especially, I think, I'd say has been his best game all season, which is saying a lot considering he's had a few great games this year. So, Graham Schwartz taking all the way. Not exactly. But it'll be saved by Cody Seaman. As if that ball is picked up, I'm taking my money on David Baird picking that up and scoring that ball. But I think he has the chance to do it right here. Oh, great save. Cody Seaman, I spoke too soon. But now I believe that's a turnover. So Middle Creek gets the ball right back. But David Baird had a few opportunities there to score, not capitalizing, especially in the second one, but I'm sure he'll get a better look tonight, as those both weren't great looks, but not his fault. So another good save by Seaman, as he looks to find someone here, but Middle Creek playing pretty solid defense, and now they'll attack the goalie, but he'll get it out before anything else. And almost turned over again, but saved by a Fuquay player. And now Tate Jones being tossed and tumbled around. The freshman, yet skillful, still a little undersized for obvious reasons, but draws the foul, which will lead to David Baird finally getting his the goal he was looking for on those past 2 attempts. So I proved myself to be correct in the term that David Baird was going to get his redemption on those last 2 goals, the goal attempts. So with a 13-3 lead, Middle Creek has the chance to start a running clock going with 2 more goals, actually, I believe. But Middle Creek, now looking, has drawn quite a crowd tonight with lots of students and teachers, parents all out to support their Mustangs. So Mustang Stadium tonight really somewhere to be, although it be wet and a little dreary. Has definitely been fun to watch. So Scott losing the face-off opportunity. So Fuquay looking to get something going here, as they did in that second quarter of this game. But Fuquay really has fared well tonight, considering all of their defensive woes. But with a guy like Jake Caputo, it's really tough to stop him. I mean, he's easily going to cut through that defense no matter what. He's going to will his way to get inside and score on you. So unless you put 2-3 guys on him, then you're not stopping him, as proved tonight. So with going unnoticed, this has gone unnoticed, but number 1 Riley Sims is checked into the game for Lance Skelton. So Riley Sims almost with the opportunity for a save, but picked up pretty easily. But now it'll shuffle all the way around back to Ben Lever. Ben Lever going up, looking like he wants a shot attempt, and does get it. Hits the upper 90 of the goalpost. Now Middle Creek fighting for the ball in between a scuffle of guys, and it comes out to be what looked to be Fuquay ball. Hard to tell right now. But also to add, Charlie, yes, indeed, you did get a shout-out tonight. So next broadcast, I am expecting you to commentate with me. As Jake Caputo scoring yet another goal. Putting on a show here tonight, putting the goalie down on the ground with him trying to make the save attempt. But Caputo putting it in the perfect position. Now 14-3. Middle Creek's pulled away a little bit here, as at one point it was 7-3. Fuquay looking to gain some momentum, but that was instantly taken down with the likes of Jake Caputo just really taking over this game. Really some classy music being played here, though. I'm liking it. And I think the fans are having a really good time here tonight. After a pretty painful girls game to watch, not only for what happened on the field, obviously it wasn't great, but a pretty unpleasant weather we had. But nonetheless, the girls are definitely to bounce back. But Tate Jones scoring a goal, and then appears to have been injured right after, possibly that left ankle. But now possibly just a cramp. It's tough to tell from this angle. But shout out Bodewine for holding the staff down tonight for the med team, sports med team. But I believe running clock is to be put into effect once the face-off has occurred. I think the 12 goal rule is what it is. Also tonight, Christian Daniels, one of the defensemen, out from Middle Creek. So Middle Creek not particularly loaded on the defensive side tonight in terms of depth, but has definitely fared well, only giving up 3 goals through nearly 3 periods. So Jones looking like he's now just talking to Coach Alota, It appears if it might have just been a slight cramp in his left leg as he's now walking it off. Tate Jones is one of those guys who can be similar to a Jake Caputo, where they can really just bank on him being a great player in every game that they need him to be for many years to come. So the ball being moved around quite well for the Mustangs. Now Caputo lines up and scores on Seaman to extend the lead 16-3. Caputo now nearing the double digits in goals, you would imagine. So Scott going back to having the face-off responsibility as running clock is now put into effect with a 13-goal lead. But as I was mentioning earlier, this is a great bounce-back game for everyone, for the fans, for the players, both girls and guys team. You like to see this from your team just to have a little positivity through your games. So Middle Creek looking like they're going to go on to win 2 of the 3 games today and win the series versus Fuquay-Varina, which I can't recall the time Middle Creek's lost to Fuquay in lacrosse in both programs' history. I could be corrected by that, but at this point, Middle Creek looks to be in complete control as that slippery field is put into effect again. Number 6, that is Julian Becerra, being slipping around a little bit, and finally coughs up the ball to Fuquay, and Fuquay can't hold on either. So now the ball is picked up by Middle Creek by number 19, I believe, David Huey. Actually, correction, Josh France. So now the ball has worked around its way to Caputo. You can feel pretty safe when the ball's in his hands, but some of the young guys now in for Middle Creek, to be exact. Also, it'll be number 16, Joshua Post, as Caputo now will come out of the game and is being subbed in. Von Schmitz coming into the game. So you can't imagine Middle Creek will attack heavily here. But they also won't let up, so if they see anything, I'm sure they'll go straight for it, but definitely not in attack mode. So great ball security by number 16, Post. So at this point, as I look over the other side of the field, who's it, number 18, David Huey. David Huey scoring his first goal of the game, and I believe that's the second on the season, which I could be wrong, but Huey done a great job tonight, has done a great job tonight as well. But now, as I was previously trying to mention, I believe it is all underclassmen on the field now. I can't see any seniors out there, as there might be more juniors and seniors. Actually, I believe there's one senior, Chris Badalino. So Chris getting some good action here. So Schmitz looking off his defender and moves the ball around to White. White, only a sophomore, multi-sport athlete, also a football player. Same with Schmitz, as that seems to be the case with many of these players, with the exception of a few. especially in a sport like lacrosse. Many of these guys go on and play other sports, whether this be their main sport or it carries on to another sport. So Schmitz making moves inside and scoring off a flashy goal. Von Schmitz getting a great goal. And expect more of that in the future, folks, because Von Schmitz, I mean, that was a great move. Just putting the ball up high, using his height, and finding the back of the net. So Middle Creek now up 18-3, nearing the end of the third period. But just completely opposite of the girls' game, as nearly an opposite score. I can't, but like I said, I can't say it enough. Middle Creek just playing fantastic tonight and just completely outplaying their opponent, showing just their versatile skill between offense and defense, and showing why they're conference champions and state champions the past 3 years. So a foul will be called against Middle Creek, number 98, Noah Giska. So Fuquay looking to get something here. And they nearly do, but the ball will just be off the mark and to the left. So Fuquay, if they want to get something, they got to get it off now, as they do, and score against the young goalie Riley Sims. But that will take us to the end of this third quarter. Middle Creek up 18-4. This has been the Sports Block. We'll be right back with the conclusion of this game in the fourth quarter. So the start of this fourth quarter, before we get going, I'm going to read off some Thoroughbred sponsors one more time. Pierce Group has a group of dedicated and knowledgeable professionals with over 100 years of combined industry experience to serve you. Pierce Group benefits. Improve your speed, agility, quickness, flexibility, and strength to reach your potential at the Performance Academy. Work hard, be great. So thanks to all of our Thoroughbred sponsors, as well as our Stallion and Colt sponsors. I really appreciate you guys. So a new man at the face-off position, number 41. I'm going to have to look this name up, guys. Number 41, Brian Danner. He's a senior, though. Brian getting his first action tonight. So, Fuquay looking to make something out of the end of this game, and although it hasn't been great for them. They still should keep their heads up because Middle Creek is a very good team and most likely winning conference yet again this year. So, but I mean, Fuquay, they have played Holly Springs well, only losing 13-9, and played Apex Friendship very well, only losing 11-8. Both of those teams are very good teams and have always been solid programs these past few years. As number 33, Logan Wheeler scores. As that is his 10th goal on the season. So Middle Creek still with an 18-5 lead. Still keeping that mercy rule going. But as I was saying, the one win Fuquay does have with Garner, 9-3. Garner, not exactly the best of teams this year, but still respectable enough with a 9-3 win to say that's good. So Brian Danner winning this face-off, presumably. As well, it looked that way, and now it's just turned into some chaos. But now it'll be awarded back to Fuquay. So Fuquay keeping most of its starters in, but that's expected for a team that's still down 13. So a flag will be called against Middle Creek. Middle Creek's Brian Danner, tripping number 22, Emmanuel Mutuaba. But I assumed that instead of being tripped, he might have just fallen due to the wet ground. But the ref did. The ref can see better than I can. The ball be put back in Fuquay's hands here. And the clock will continue to run. And Middle Creek will be short-manned, only with 5 guys out there right now on the defensive end. But you can tell somewhat, but it's definitely noticeable that this field is just absolutely soaked down there. And it'll be awarded back to Middle Creek. It's tough to tell what exactly the call was. But now Badalino and Carson Scott will come back out onto the field to provide some assurance. So with just under 8 minutes here, Middle Creek still holds a 13-goal lead. So no problems here for the Mustangs. As Carson Scott looking as if he were attacking inside, but gives it up instead. Now Schmitz with a good pass inside, making a man fall, and can't finish. Number 20, that's Trevor Grisculo, almost finishing on that attempt. So if I'm Middle Creek here, I'm really not looking to score all that much, just possibly prevent Fuquay from getting anything, as they're not really trying to get much too further than they already are. But the ball will be stolen and taken upfield, but it looks as if it was once again lost, now stolen again by number 21, Von Schmitz. Makes his guy miss, fakes the pass, now holds his guy off. Schmidt's playing excellent so far. Now to Crisculo. Around to Post. Post controlling the ball quite well. Good pass inside, but with a crowd of Bengals, White drops the ball. So most of Middle Creek's reserves in now. Although Carson Scott, one of those key reserves and sometimes starter, and to provide some assurance for Middle Creek. But your main guys, Ben Lever, Jake Caputo, David Baird, they're out for the night. And they're going to rest up for next game. I believe they have tomorrow playing at Duke University. So a shot attempt there. And now number 5, White, being hit hard, but a flag will come in. And then White shoots the ball and misses wide. So that flag will be enforced. Another penalty on number 22, Tuabra. But we're closing in on about 5 minutes now. And Fuquay is making some changes here, possibly putting in some of their reserves as well. And now Fuquay looking like they've had some lineup issues going. Now take the timeout. So we're going to take a timeout as well. And we'll be right back with the sports block. So we're back with Middle Creek leading Fuquay-Varina 18-5. Middle Creek looking to just slow things down a little bit here. Possibly just prevent Fuquay from trying to start anything. So just closing in on about 4 minutes left in this game. But as I mentioned, Middle Creek has a tough game tomorrow, playing against a good team. I believe it is. Let me check this. Possibly R.J. Reynolds. But I believe they may be playing against another team from an out-of-state region. So either way, they'll be playing tough games out of conference tomorrow, which obviously it won't affect their in-conference record, which so far has been flawless. But coming up, they have a pretty tough schedule. As number 20, Trevor Criscuolo, getting a goal there, his first this season. So a lot of first here tonight for the Mustangs, and a lot of good first. So good for Trevor on getting that goal. Congrats to him. One of my good friends. And that'll probably about do it in terms of scoring for tonight, unless Fuquay gets something. I can't imagine Middle Creek is really going to try to push anything into the goal unless the opportunity is given. So a lot of just pushing and shoving right now. but the ball eventually ends up with Middle Creek, possibly. But a good swipe there by the Fuquay defenseman, who I should call out. That's Sean McCarty, number 99, had a great swipe there against Fuquay's number 26, or I believe number 26, Luke McDonald. I could be wrong. Actually, correct me, yeah, 24, Mason Welch. But a near goal there. Good save, though, by Jason. And Mason Welch now with the ball, moving around a little bit to some of these younger guys that are getting some good action tonight. So Fuquay looking to possibly make something out of this. But it's just closing in on a minute now. Middle Creek will come out of this game being victors, obviously, but coming out being 4-1 on the season, and with going against with this one against Fuquay-Varina, they will move to 4-1, and they will play R.J. Reynolds tomorrow at Duke, and then play Garner Magnet on the 19th. So that should be a game that should be important for their in-conference schedule. So Fuquay's goal getting waved off here, and it looks like the final score here at Mustang Stadium will be 19-5. As we're just waiting for the clock to hit 0 now, but some Fuquay guys might have some other plans. And that'll be it. So Middle Creek moves on to 4-1, with their next games being R.J. Reynolds, Garner, and at Cape Fear. So Middle Creek will be back at home on the 26th against Cape Fear. This has been your host, Griff Barlow. I look forward to our next broadcast in the Sports Block, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.